Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat Nashtapraya Shabadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna. Today we'll be discussing on Canto 3, Chapter 24 and text number 26. The verse goes, Sachaiv Sachavatrinam Triyugam Ajnana Vibhudarshavam Vivikta Upasangamya Pranamya Samabhashata. Synonyms. Sa, the sage Kardama, Cha, and Ava Trinam, descendant. Triyugam, Vishnu, Ajnana, having understood. Vibhuda Rishabham, the chief of the demigods. Vivikte, in the secluded place. Upasangamya, having approached. Pranamya, offering obeisances. Sambhashata, he spoke. Translation. When Kardama Muni understood that Supreme Personality of Godhead, the chief of all the demigods, Vishnu, has descended, Kardama approached him in a secluded place, offered obeisances, and spoke as follows. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Vishnu is called Triyuga. He appears in three yugas, Satya, Treta, and Dvapara. But in Kali Yuga, he does not appear. From the prayers of Prahlad Maharaja, however, we understand that he appears grabbed as devotee in Kali Yuga. Lord Chaitanya is that devotee. Krishna appeared in the form of a devotee, but although he never disclosed himself, Rupa Goswami could understand his identity. For the Lord cannot hide himself from a pure devotee. Rupa Goswami detected him when he offered his first obeisances to Lord Chaitanya. He knew that Lord Chaitanya was Krishna himself and therefore offered his obeisances with the following words. I offer my respects to Krishna, who has now appeared as Lord Chaitanya. This also confirmed in the prayers of Prahlad Maharaja in Kali Yuga. He does not directly appear, but he appears as a devotee. Vishnu is therefore known as Triyuga. Another explanation of Triyuga is that he has three pairs of divine attribute, namely power and affluence, piety and renown, and wisdom and dispassion. According to Sridhara Swami, his three pairs of opulence are complete riches and complete strength, complete fame and complete beauty, and complete wisdom and complete renunciation. There are different interpretations of Triyuga, but it is accepted by all learned scholars all learned scholars that Triyuga means Vishnu. When Kardama Muni understood that his son Kapila was Vishnu himself, he wanted to offer his obeisances, Therefore, when Kapila was alone, he offered his respects and expressed his mind as follows. The purport finishes. Before we discuss the meaning of the purport, I'd like to pay the prayers. Om Ajnanandatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Adamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Tarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Krupatam Aham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. Hare Krishna. So here we have some important lessons to be learned from the way Kardama Muni is delivering his responsibilities as a Grihastha, and at the same time delivering his responsibility from the Atma Tattva point of view. What is the main purpose of life? The main purpose of life, as we are in the material world, we have to understand this material world is temporary. It is not the actual home for us. And try to understand who is Atma and who is Paramatma. Generally, we tend to identify ourselves with this body, which is made of all these five elements: earth, water, air, fire, and ether. But that is not our actual true identity. That is just the covering. The true identity is the soul, the Atma. And what is the purpose of Atma? The purpose of Atma is to understand or try to realize Paramatma. So if we go to the Bhagavatam 2nd canto, 9th chapter and 4th verse, it goes like Atma Tattva Vishuddhartham Yad Aha Bhagavan Rutam Brahme Darshayan Rupam Avalika Vartardaha. So the translation goes in that verse is O King, the personality of Godhead, being very much pleased with Lord Brahma because of his non-deceptive penance in Bhakti Yoga, presented his eternal and transcendental form before Brahma. And that is the objective goal for purifying conditioned soul. So in this verse, the Brahma done a lot of penance in Bhakti Yoga, and Lord himself presented in his eternal transcendental form. So the Brahma is here in this context, Brahma is referring to as an Atma and Lord is as a Paramatma. And what is the objective of goal for a conditioned soul like us? The Brahma is showing that we need to perform the Bhakti Yoga and get purified by it, and finally turn towards God, or finally realize the Paramatma. So here it says Artham. Artham means goal. So the goal of life is to understand Atma, like who we are, self-relation, and at the same time understand Paramatma, the God, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Any yogic process that only deals with understanding Paramatma or only deals with Paramatma, in the long run, it is not a perfect knowledge. It has to be both. Likewise, in one of the Prabhupada lecture, Prabhupada talks about if you see the sun directly, you will see the sun, and at the same time you see it yourself because of the sunlight. So similarly, if we practice Bhakti Yoga, we don't need to practice two different self-relation systems to understand ourselves and also to understand God. Within just the one stroke, it hits within the one arrow, I would say it hits two targets. So similarly, performing Bhakti Yoga not only makes us realize who we are as an Atma, but also it will show us who is the actual who is a Paramatma as well, just like Lord Brahma has gone through. So similarly, in order to understand this main goal of life, we need to have a quality offsprings. Quality offsprings means like quality progeny, quality kids. It is a highest goal of life. How that can be achieved, how this can be realized, it is through it is showing in the Bhagavatam in this chapter, especially with the Kardama Muni, where he done a lot of penances, a lot of meditation, and when he's doing meditation or when he saw the Lord face to face, it was described in Bhagavatam. He has tears in his eyes. He is so joyful and he's completely satisfied and he's completely immersed in it. But why he is even though he's one of the most self-realized yogi, then why he has to accept the grihastha life and go through all this taking care of all the household duties and raising the offsprings, and why should he take all this time instead of he can just renounce and worship, right? So one can ask that question. So one of the reason is he was instructed by Brahma to be a Prajapati and to have a quality offspring. So he's while being in Bhakti Yoga, he's trying to perform his duty as an obligation to Lord Brahma, that to give quality offsprings. So the progeny or the quality offsprings will able to realize the goal of life. Atmatattva Vishuddhartham Yad Aha Bhagavan Rudham. So that is an important duty that Kardama Muni was doing. So there is one interesting thing that when I was researching, I found out that there was an explanation by Devakinandan Prabhu. So he was talking about, if you see the Sanskrit verse, I mean the Sanskrit letters, for example, if you see the letter 36, right? In Sanskrit, it is called Shat Trishat. So generally in our um, modern alphabet transliteration, 36 can be written as this, but in Sanskrit, it is a way of representing 36. You see, the 3 is facing towards left and 6 is facing towards the right? So generally in our conditioned state, we are like Shat Trishat, which means we have our own agenda, which doesn't align with the agenda or doesn't align with Paramatma. But our actual aim has to be like the number 63, which is called Trishashtihi, which if you see the same digits, they are facing each other. Means our goal of life has to be like this. It has to be, we should align or we should be facing towards, or we have to be taking the shelter of the Paramatma. So which is something interesting that I found I'd like to share. So our goal of life has to be like that. So we have to try to turn towards Paramatma, and the process is through Bhakti Yoga. So there are wonderful examples in Bhagavatam, how different grihasthas, different person from different ashramas can perform the Bhakti Yoga. So here Kardama Muni was, since being a grihastha, he was showing to us how he has to, while being a grihastha, how the Bhakti Yoga can be performed and how the duties has to be performed. And one of the main duty of a grihastha is taking care of the kids. So as we learned from the previous verses that Kardama Muni has 9 daughters, and the tenth the 10th child is Lord Kapila, who confirmed to be as the descendant who is considered to be incarnation of God himself by Lord Brahma. So he performed his household duty by giving all the 9 daughters to a charity. So he also showing how the grihasthas has to do a charity, and also how to take the responsibility of um, you know the woman has to be protected. So we all know that from our Vedic literature, uh, from our from our tradition, that woman has always to be protected. Like for example, Devahuti was being protected by her father Swayambhu Manu, and being handed over to Kardama Muni for the marriage. And while she was in Grihastha, while she got married, she was being protected by Kardama Muni. And now Kardama Muni is preparing for the renounced life. And because it is a time when Lord Kapila is becoming a young man, and now he's delivering his duty of handing over the responsibility of protecting his wife to his son. But one can ask the question later on that even Kapila Muni also um, left the left the Grihastha life. But there is an explanation for that. Kapila Muni always protects Devahuti, Mother Devahuti. He dispelled her all the ignorance through Sankhya philosophy, and at the same time she was being kept under the care of the servants. So she is always be protected. So the main idea is the woman has to be always protected and should be always under the care. So this is the example that Kartama Muni was showing on how the woman needs to be protected all the time. While doing Bhakti Yoga, he is also performing the duty of a good husband and also duty of a good father. So generally, as a parent, one has to be responsible to take care of the kids. So I seen an example, not seen, I mean, I heard an example. There is a devotee whose wife was expired for some health reasons, and he has a lot of wealth, and he hired some servants in his home and given the responsibility of taking care of his two kids to those servants, so that they will take care of their education and all education, well-being, and all stuff like that by paying a huge amount of money. And he has a desire to go to Haridwar and do devotional service to the god. So he went to Haridwar and he started giving nice lectures, especially Bhagavatam lectures, and he performed his duty of a devotee and as by following all the principles of the Bhakti Yoga very nicely. And everyone noticed how sweet, how excellent his Bhagavatam classes are. And slowly there were like thousands and thousands of people. They are always eager to attend his um, Bhagavatam classes. But as the time progresses, he was so dissatisfied in heart, and he is unable to sleep so well, and he couldn't understand what is the root cause for his dissatisfaction. And he couldn't figure it out what is the cause of his dissatisfaction, and he went to his Guru Maharaj, the spiritual master. And spiritual master asked, okay, do you know how your kids are doing? You are a grihastha, but I understand that your wife has expired. But what about kids? How they are doing? So then this devotee responded, yeah, I given under the care of very good servants who I know from a long time. They are taking care of them so that I can perform my seva here in this holy dham, Haridwar. Okay, so then spiritual master understood that, and he said, okay, for now you just hold on doing all the services in Haridwar, and I instruct you to go and check how your kids are doing right now. It has been some time, so check if they are doing well. So as per the instruction of his spiritual master, he left Haridwar and he went to his hometown to check how his kids are doing. And he's surprised to see all the property where his kids is supposed to grow. It has been completely occupied by the servant's family, and they kicked out their kids out of the home. And his heart was he was so upset, and his heart was broken to see his kids are not living in his own property and being kicked out of his own property and not being taken care well. So he went to after some interrogation and after some um, conflict with the servants, he found out that his kids were living in a very, very, very poor condition where they are very thin, they are not taken care well, and they are not the education and the school is out of question, and they are like rags. They are like a more or less like a homeless kids staying in a very very slum places. And he was so heartbroken again, and he was fell on the ground and he cried, oh, such a big mistake that I have done. I trusted them, but I couldn't take care of my own kids. So then what is the point of doing all this thing? Then he realized why his spiritual master asked to go and check the kids. Then later he realized I can't just take a shortcuts in ignoring my obligations as a father and continue to do bhakti vai. So it will not work in that way. So even though he tried to attempt it, he's completely dissatisfied. Krishna is not pleased there. So that's why he has to come back. So the takeaway of this story is, as a grihastha, we have several responsibilities to take care. It doesn't mean that we have to neglect those responsibilities and completely, immerse in bhakti yoga. Krishna will not pleased by that, because we have some grihastha activities that needs to be performed nicely. Then only Krishna will be pleased. Just and how that can be done, it is and we have several examples, and one of the wonderful example is how Kardama Muni, even though he is the most elevated devotee, he doesn't neglect his household duties, and he is performing his obligations by taking care of his good wife Devahuti and kid and daughters by making them make sure they got married. And he is so patient to wait until Lord Kapila Muni grew up as a young man so that he can give give Mother Devahuti under his care, and he can go for the renunciation. So this is the example of how Kardama Muni is setting an example. And also here Lord Chaitanya, here there was a discussion, usage of word called Triyugam, and the purport talks about Triyuga refers to Lord Vishnu. So here we can say that so we have Lord appeared in Kali Yuga as well, right? So why don't we call other way around? Why we are saying it as Triyuga? In Kali Yuga, he doesn't appear directly as a Lord, but he appeared as Lord Chaitanya, as a devotee of the Lord. So similarly, so how we know that? So we have a scriptural references for it. So for example, if we go to Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhyama Canto, I mean to say 19.53, when Rupa Sanatana Goswami first time they saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they say, Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. So the translation goes, oh, most munificent incarnation, you are Krishna himself appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani, and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectable obeisances unto you. So, and there is, so this is a indication that Krishna appeared as a Lord Chaitanya Prabhu, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but as a devotee of Lord. Not only from Chaitanya Charitamrita, even from our Bhagavatam 11th canto, 5th chapter 32 verse says, Krishna Varnam Kisha Tusha Krishnam Sanga Panga Shada Parshadam Yagnaihi Sankirtana Prayar Yajantihi Sumeda Saha. Translation. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. So we have a reference from Bhagavatam as well about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he came as a, and only the intelligent persons who can take up this congregational chanting, and also to understand who is Krishna is in this purport. Who is Krishna is in this Kali Yuga. So the purport also says about Sridhar Swami's example, his inference of what is Three Yuga. So God has 6 opulence, as we all know. So Sridhar Swami has made that 6 into 3 pairs, which is going to be like categorized, which are complete riches, complete strength, complete fame, complete beauty, and complete wisdom, and complete renunciation. So Sridhar Swami Acharya also refers Three Yuga means is Vishnu, and he gives an explanation because Vishnu has all these 6 opulences in the 3 pairs. That's why he is also called as a Three Yuga. Why Krishna came as a Mahaprabhu, right? So one of the possible explanation that can be given as in Dwapar Yuga, when Krishna came, Krishna says, Sarvadharman paritidya mamekam sharanam praja. So aham tvam sarvapapibhyo mokshasha masuchaha. So Krishna says that please surrender unto me. I will take care of all the sins, everything. Renounce all the dharma and just surrender unto me. I will take care of everything, and sins will be vanished. But Mahaprabhu, he's showing us an example. Of course, is Krishna himself. How to surrender to Krishna? That is one of the primary reasons for his incarnation, and at the same time wants to bring the Harinam or the Yuga Dharma of Kali Yuga to propagate the chanting of the holy names. So that's why, as he is not, even though he is God, he's not appearing directly as a God himself. That's why it is referred to as a Three Yuga. And here, Kardama Muni, we can say that, okay, when Kardama Muni is paying obeisances to Lord, how can a father pay obeisances to his own son? Age-wise, is more elder, and he is not supposed to do. Is it appropriate? So generally, we can, there is respect. It depends upon so many other things. We have to, as we can, if anyone attended the recent seminar on Vaishnava etiquette, there we discussed about how Mahaprabhu offered respects to various people. Like when Mahaprabhu didn't take in sannyas, he paid obeisances to pandits. He paid respects and obeisances to sannyasis, and he also respected even by listening continuously the Vedanta Sutra from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, even though he knows it. So the respect doesn't only you have to do only with respect to the age. It also comes with the qualification, who the other person is belong to. No matter what, he is small, if he has a bigger qualification, bigger spiritual understanding, bigger realization, have to pay the obeisances. That is nothing wrong with it, and also that is a proper etiquette of doing it. So similarly, there are different kinds of obeisances that we generally do. So one is called Shastang. We do with full, keeping the body full flat down on the floor, like when we do in front of deities or Srila Prabhupada. And there is another second one is called Ashtang. Ashtang means while doing laying our entire body flat, we also do some Premadhvani prayers, or we do Guru Pranam mantras like Om Namo Vishnu Padaya, like that. That is called Ashtang. And there is a Natang. Natang means it is like half obeisances, like generally Mataji's do half. So that is called Natang. And there is the fourth one called Kritanjali Pranam. Kritanjali Pranam means just folding the hands and greeting the other person. So here Kardama is paying a full obeisances to the Lord, because Brahma told when Lord about to appear that his 10th child will be going to be the incarnation of God. So he knows that he's God appeared in his own family as a son for a purpose, and he is paying obeisances because he has a higher position, because he's a Paramatma himself, than he's just a ordinary son. So thus Kardama is fulfilling his household obligations, household duties, taking care of welfare of everyone while doing bhakti yoga. And this is a good example of how, as a grihasthas, we can realize our goal of Atma Tattva Vishuddhartam Yad Aha Bhagavan Rutam. So we are a little bit over 5 minutes. So if you have any questions and discussions, you can any reflections, please feel free to share. That concludes the class for this verse.
Very nice, comprehensive discussion, Prabhu. I like the point about 36 and 63. Nice one.
Thank you, Mataji. Even I felt very interesting, but yeah, I couldn't understand first when I was thinking about like 36, right? I saw, okay, 3 is this, 6 is like this. It doesn't make sense to me, but later I realized maybe, okay, there might be some Sanskrit version of the numbers, maybe that makes more sense. And when I looked up on it, that makes total sense about Shat Trishad and Trishashti. So I thought of sharing it. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much for attending this class, taking your time. If I if I spoke something that is not aligned to Shastras, please apologies. And thank you very much. Hare Krishna.